Hey guys, today we are going to learn a little bit about Pablo Picasso and his painting called The Three Musicians. Before you get started, I put a link to a book in the comments section. It's called When Picasso Met Mootisse. Take a minute and listen to that book on Storyline Online first, and then meet me back here and we'll get started. So Pablo Picasso, when he was painting, was not very popular because he didn't paint people that looked just like people. Take a look at his painting right here called The Three Musicians. Do you see the musicians in it? Or are they kind of hard to see? Can you make out what instruments they're playing? We are going to create our own stage full of musicians that are drawn in Picasso's Cubist style. So grab a piece of paper and a pencil, maybe Sharpies or things to color with if you want to, and let's get started. All right, the first thing that we're going to do before we start drawing our musicians is we're going to make a horizon line. That's where the sky meets the ground or meets the stage or anything like that. So it doesn't have to be a straight line across your paper, but it can. The idea is that up here is all the sky and down here is the ground or the stage or whatever your musicians are standing on. Now, just because I draw my musicians one way doesn't mean you have to draw them just like me. We can use a large variety of ideas to make our musicians. So what I want you to think about is starting with your first musician. It doesn't matter where you put them on your paper, but we're going to start with giving that musician a shape for their head. So if I make this musician maybe have a squarish head like this, and then I got to think about, is this musician tall? Is he short? Is he fat? Is he skinny? What is he going to look like? I think I'm going to give this musician a triangle-shaped body. I'm going to make it a girl musician. This kind of looks like it could be a dress. And then I can use some shapes to make her legs too. Now, they don't have to be regular shapes. Maybe this musician actually has kind of noodle-shaped legs that go like this. And then I could give her some feet as well. How about she's going to be, maybe she'll be up on her tippy toes. And I can just kind of put little egg shapes down there. And the ankle's kind of lying right up with my horizon line. So now she's standing on there. Then I got to think about what instrument could she be playing. Maybe she's going to play the guitar. So for a guitar, I could start with a big circle and then a smaller circle next to it, and then a rectangle that goes over top of it. You can erase those lines you don't need anymore. But she needs to be able to play the guitar, so now I got to make sure her hands are going somewhere that can play that guitar. So I can make her arms and hands go down here, and it's okay if they're kind of long, that will be one hand. But if I just leave her arm like this, it's going to be really hard to color in, so I want to make it a double line all the way to her hand. She's kind of got long noodly arms. So there's one hand playing her guitar. I can include some strings on her guitar before I forget. They don't have to have the right number, but you can add those little details if you want. And then her other hand is going to have to end up finishing right here on the neck of her guitar. And maybe this one kind of comes down and around like this. And it could go on the top of a guitar. I could make it kind of come down here underneath, and that would work too. Maybe this shape musician is also the singer of our band, so I'm going to make her have a really wide open mouth so she could be singing. You can give her different shapes for her face too. So there's a nose. She's going to sing with her eyes closed. And then I can add some hair. I could add a hat, anything like that. So I'm going to maybe give her a little hairdo like this. So there's one musician. When you're drawing your musicians, I want you to think about what kind of pattern you could put somewhere on your musician. So maybe she has leggings on that have a pattern on them that I can color in later. can add whatever details you want. I think maybe I'll make it so her sleeves match that pattern too, kind of like that one musician in Picasso's painting with the checkerboard outfit on. So there's one. Now I got to make another person. Maybe this one is going to be kind of a small musician. I'm going to give him a circle for the head. And I'm going to make him small but rather large. So he's going to have a really big body. And then I think maybe this guy is going to be standing up on a platform. We're going to give him some really short legs. Or maybe he's jumping in the air. Maybe he's really excited and he's jumping. So I'm going to put his feet up here. You know, they could have triangle feet. So this second musician is going to kind of be jumping in the air excitedly. I think I'm going to make him playing clarinet, kind of like in the painting of the three musicians they were playing. So I'm going to have my clarinet shape. I can kind of give it that horn at the bottom. This would be going into his mouth so we can give him a nose. Maybe he's kind of got more excited eyes like this since he's jumping up and down. The clarinet kind of has holes that go all the way down it. And then we can put his hands on here. We're keeping their hands pretty simple just because if they get kind of tiny on you, you don't want them to be too hard to color in. Maybe this guy can also have a beard behind his clarinet. That's always fun to give him a beard. Kind of like Picasso gave his guys some beards. You could give him a hat or some hair. Maybe his hair is kind of standing up like this. So we've got someone playing guitar. We've got somebody playing the clarinet. I forgot to give him a pattern. I think I'm going to make it look like he's got some striped pants on. That would be kind of fun. And then I think I would also like to have a drum player. So I'm going to have my third musician on here. And you can use any kind of shapes. You could do stars, you could do hearts, you could do, oh, really anything you wanted to. This guy's going to be super, super tall. And he's going to be playing a really big bass drum. I've already kind of decided that in my head. He's going to have kind of a beard also. And a little smile. You can add ears and all sorts of things like that. This will be his little hat on here. Maybe he's going to have a feather sticking out of his hat. If this is his big bass drum, he would have his arms that kind of come around each side. You wouldn't see that arm on the other side, but we would see that he's got a drumstick, right? He's really tall. Maybe part of this triangle body of his is his long, long legs too. And maybe he's going to have kind of triangle-shaped feet that kind of look like this. You could make him look like he's got shoelaces with like a little curvy line and an oval. Now he's got tied shoelaces. And we've got some members to our band. I can add some more details in here. Like another ring around that bass drum. Maybe his other arm is actually on top of his bass drum. And there's his other drumstick while he's waiting to play over there. Maybe he's got some overalls on. So what you can do is we can outline this in Sharpie and start to coloring it too. and we'll see where it goes.